It's episode 19
No.
with me, Mitch, and this other wacko,
This guy,
Jeff.
Jeff. The podcast where Mitch desperately tries to keep us on task and I desperately try to throw us off the scent.
Yeah, I mean, luckily today the task isn't really that pertinent, I wouldn't say, right? It's not that much educational content coming at you. Although I'd say probably the most important thing that you guys need to probably take away from the podcast is that Jeff got his ass beat on the sled today.
Dude. Wait, who went at noon? Who handled it?
Paul. I don't even know if you've met Paul yet.
No, he went and liked mine. I was like, who's this guy?
He went and liked yours.
550.
$550.
Dude, here's the deal. By 9 pounds.
Yeah.
What a stinker.
I know. I kept trying to tell him, like, hey, I'm just looking for 1 1/4 on top of that, you know?
Yeah. And he's like, I'll just throw another 10. I'll just put a 10 on. He's like, who needs that little red one? Okay, so here's the deal. Honestly, which sled did he use?
The Prowler.
Which is?
The 3-prong one.
Oh, the same. Oh, the big bastard.
Yeah.
Did you sweep for him?
I did not sweep. It was a big class.
Here's the deal. I'll totally I'll submit. I was not interested in pushing that big one, and I was waiting for Andrew to come along and say, you know what? Why don't we go same for same? Because he could kick my ass anyway. Andrew, that's freaking. This has got like 7 inches on me.
I don't know. We'll see. It's been fun to see how it's turned out so far. I know I'm not pushing that weight, so I can't really talk much crap. But
wait, you can push that?
I don't think I can. You're
talking about the weight that I was pushing?
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Hell yeah. I've made it. You know, if nothing else goes my way the rest of the year, I will. It's a good year. It's a good year. I was slipping out of my shoes, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I'm more than confident that would happen to me too.
I tightened them down so hard and still on that, what was it, 541? I was like, dude, my shoes are about to go. But if I stop, I knew you were gonna no rep me. So I was fully prepared to slip out of my shoes and go barefoot. I was gonna Fred Flintstone that bitch. I was gonna push it across the finish line.
Yeah, one of the ladies at noon did that. Just kept going, shoes off.
Nice. Who was that?
Gail. We had Lily riding on the sled too.
Who are these people? Do I need to come to different classes?
Yeah, you probably need to come to different classes if you want to meet more people. It's definitely.
What are you gonna do about your welcoming committee?
The ambassador program?
Yeah.
It's still kind of developing as far as the organization of it, but I mean, probably their primary role is to make new people feel more comfortable.
So you haven't started it yet, though?
We've started it, but it's just like you have to have a new person in that time slot in order for it to actually be something. And then there will be some other things too, but I'm not exactly 100% on it. But basically the idea is like to really try to wrap in that community culture, and vibe right away, where it's like, these are people who have been here a long time. They'll show you the ropes, and they're willing to sacrifice maybe a placing or 2 on their workout today to make sure you feel comfortable. Now, it's not something we say, but the ambassadors need to be on that.
What's really important, making people feel comfortable.
Yeah, because I mean, the ultimate goals in CrossFit Magny is to reach more people with fitness. So it's like it only works if everybody's working towards the same mission. And if we have people who we think are strong community members that aren't on the same page as us, then that's probably not a good fit long term for us. So
yeah, for sure. I was waiting for the call, man, but you're right. I only come at 9:30. I should come to different times.
Well, I picked an ambassador from each class slot time.
Dude, who's the 9:30?
You.
When did I know? When was I going to find out?
Oh, did you not find out about that? Maybe we replaced you. I had a few people written down.
Dude, there's a lot of things happening.
No, I'm pretty sure it's you.
All right, sweet. Well, do we have a Magny ambassador hat or something?
Not yet. What we're working on next is getting a wall up where we can have. It's called the ambassador wall, basically.
That's cool.
So you each have like a little picture and a little notation as far as a little bio on each person, and
nice.
Should be pretty fun.
Nice.
But anyway, the reason we are gathered here today is
there we go.
to discuss the CrossFit semifinals.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of them?
I did actually watch. I watched the. I don't remember what event it was exactly, but it was on most. Was it Saturday when that was on?
It was Thursday through Sunday.
Oh, okay. So I watched the pirouettes, the seatless, or the seated legless rope climb with the. They rode a little bit on that one too, if I remember it correctly.
Yep.
And then
overhead squat.
Overhead squat. Yeah. Yeah. So apparently there's somebody and handstand push-ups. Oh my God. Yeah. The strict wall facing handstand push-ups. It's like, how can you take an already extremely hard movement and then like level that thing up? Right. Like I tried to do that wall facing strict handstand push-up because that's what they do that in the quarterfinals or whatever. You had to do those. I hadn't even heard of them. Didn't even know it was a thing. But like my back arched out, like I cramped up. That was a hot mess. But so watching it, you just like have that respect for it.
Well, and that's why he actually made that variation of it, as he kind of put a premium on keeping your core tight by making that variation of it. Because if you break down, you're good luck, Whereas when you're leaning against the wall, you could break down and still get through it.
Yeah, which is a crutch. Right.
Yeah.
But it was super interesting to watch that because so Simon was watching it with us and he's like, "Are you stronger than her?" I'm like, "No, do not even a little bit." He's like, "What about her?" I'm like, "Dude, Simon, anybody that you see on TV right now is significantly stronger than I am."
I always wonder if I would be able to hang in the girls division,
Yeah.
Pull what's that South Park character's name?
Oh, is that when it's not Cartman, is it?
No, it's a relatively new one, but it's about guys competing in women's sports.
Are they like wrestlers or something?
Oh, it was like it's Strong Woman is the actual the girl name, and then I can't remember who takes, but he has like he looks like me basically, like a beard coming in. And he's like, "Yeah,
woman."
He's just yoked out of like Randy Savage style.
That's
guy.
what it was.
Like,
that's the first. So I was like, I think I did see that episode. It was pretty funny. Man, just always dancing on the line there. Those guys are hilarious. That's pretty funny. But yeah, so why don't you test yourself? Dude, you know what the times are.
That's true. That's true. I'm afraid I'd lose, and then how would my ego do with that?
You just
fragile guy.
Cool with losing. I know.
I'm a fragile guy.
What was? Oh yeah, Murph. Oh, and we could talk about Murph too.
Oh heck yeah.
That was a thing. So coming around first of all, you were in dead last running, right?
Yes.
And you had enough energy on that first run to tell me that I was getting my ass kicked by my wife as I was coming down the hill. And then I turned the corner and Gabby's standing there. She's like, "Your wife's killing you." I'm like, "Dude, why is everybody I'm like, I'm trying to do we all are running our own race here." Oh man. But
is that what you said when you put that 1 pound on the sled today?
Yeah, I mean, well,
we're all running our own race.
Here's this 1 pound. I'll take it where I can get it, and that's why I don't go to 5:00 class, because then people see the bar, and then you just watch yourself slide down the leaderboard all day long, and I don't think I could handle that.
Man, blowing up right now.
You're so popular.
So popular. Yeah, so I think Murph, so the reason I was dead last on the run, for everybody's clarity here,
we all have an excuse. Yeah.
I started 7 minutes later than everybody.
I was still running after 7 minutes.
Yeah, you should probably be running
like
an 8-minute mile.
And I was coming down the hill. It was like right in that last corner.
Yeah. You're in that last 400 for sure.
Yeah.
So you might have been like 8.5 minutes.
And and then I also yelled at you that I had to respond to some work emails. So I also started a minute late. So I was like, I was starting late. It's like, what are you doing? You're
No,
way
it was
behind the pack.
pretty funny. Yeah, it was 7 minutes late because I had to make sure that people running the grill. It was my grill, but they didn't really know how to run it yet, so I was trying to get them all lined out on it and make sure everybody got off okay. And
Yeah.
in the past, I haven't participated in it so that I could host it better, and
Yeah.
I've learned that the vibe and everything is actually better if I just do it with people.
Just go.
So yeah, so I just decided, obviously for that reason, that I was gonna do it, but I had to get everybody rolling first. And so yeah, I started 7 minutes later, and that's why I was dead last on the run.
Yeah.
My run time was like probably 8.5 minutes.
Damn. It's crazy.
So,
What were your steps per minute?
I have no idea.
Wasn't 180?
It probably was under 180. It
Yeah.
wasn't so far under 180 because I was really, for that mile, I was really focused on like keeping my breath under easy control, never getting to the point where I was basically super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
It was a
that
long
because
workout.
I knew you have a long workout. There's plenty of time to get uncomfortable. But if you start uncomfortable, it's just going to be miserable.
Yeah.
So really tried to stave that off, breathe through my nose a lot on that run. And then the second run was torture, as it always is.
Yeah. How did it go, though? Do you know what your time was?
I don't know my exact time. It was around 46 minutes, I think.
Damn.
And it was, and I did 10, 20, 30 for my split, which was way harder than the 5, 10. I can't believe how much harder that is than
Dang.
5,
You
10,
did.
15.
Whoa. So you tried to do it in 10 rounds?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
intense.
I kept all the pull-ups unbroken. That was actually like the only easy part of the workout was the pull-ups.
Really?
But surprisingly, the air squats even got hard. It was like every rep 22 was difficult.
Right when you got to 22 was like, that's it. That's the wall.
It's like I just had to take one breath at rep 22 every single time on the air squats.
It's like that runner wall.
And then the push-ups, I knew I paced those kind of just with a plan where it's like, well, I'm going to start with 5s, and as soon as I can't do 5s, I'm going to go to 5, 5, 3, 3, 2, 2. And so I did the rest of them that way pretty much after round 2.
And so was that better?
Yeah. I needed to split those up like that. But then, like I said, the squats just like they spiked my heart rate. They blew up my quads a bit. It was just the squats were quite the bitch on that one.
It's funny when you like are thinking that the easiest movement is actually the thing that just like is the Grim Reaper, right? The thing that gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I was waiting because I was like, I don't know if you could tell, but I was feeling a little under the weather. I was a little out of it. I only did a half, and it still freaking killed me. But I was watching you because I was doing my push-ups, looking right at you, and I was waiting for your hip crease to not go below parallel. And I was gonna yell across the gym so loud at you, like, get lower.
Oh yeah,
but I never caught it.
Pretty dang consistent on the squats. I don't think that's
unfortunately. What really would have made my day though, if I could have corrected you in the middle of Murph, I think I would have been really happy with myself.
Yeah. Well, should we do you want to pull up maybe like the leaderboards for CrossFit, and then we'll go over what's been happening?
Sure thing.
We just had our HVAC inspection. Hopefully that passed.
Ooh, and
I don't know.
Oh, I guess you don't know if you've passed yet.
I just saw out my window.
Leaderboard. All right, and then I'm gonna share this screen. There's CrossFit. Share. Perfect. We're in the right spot, right? Accept.
Yep. Now probably want to go. So we can go. We'll go week by week. We don't have the finale yet, which is this weekend, and that's Europe. But I think that as Americans, we're probably just going to be looking at comparing the Americans more so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the most important people.
Yes, the most important. So we'll go East Division, which I believe it's already on North America East. Oh, it's on overall right now. It's weird.
Where are you seeing overall?
It shouldn't be in overall.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that's open. Oh wait, hold on. Competition. Change competition.
Open semifinals.
It should be semifinals.
There we go.
Now we should see North America. Change that to East. We'll start with the East.
Yep. Women.
Sure. And then could you actually open this up on another tab and make it the West on another tab?
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about showing it, but that way you can maybe quickly
go back and forth.
Yep.
Wonder if I can just do that. Why is there? Oh, it's probably because I'm sharing. All right, hold on. I'll just have to find it real fast. If you can still see it, can we just scroll down just a little bit and you can talk about what you see so far while I'm opening up this other one?
I think one of the coolest things to see is, so I used to do brute strength training a lot when I was trying to be more competitive. And then kind of when I was on my way out of competitive things, I had a coach from brute strength camp doing my individual design training. And it was a lot of fun. It was really good. Learned a lot about programming. I learned a lot about, you know, how to do CrossFit, but still make it progressive and get better at specific weaknesses and things like that. And it's cool to see that number 1 and number 2 are both from that camp of brute strength.
And what is brute strength? Because I have no idea what that is.
It's just a individual programming company.
Oh, okay.
And they're obviously they work in CrossFit more often than not. And so the leader of brute strength is this guy Matthew Torres or Matt Torres, whatever, and he is the coach for both number 1 and 2 on there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so also looking at the point separation, like that's a really close race. Like look at that, they're 6 points apart, and then the next placing is like 30, like
that's crazy.
20 points down. Now,
and so these two are brute strength.
Cool. Yeah, so they're both brute strength, and they're both like polar opposites. You look at Emma Carey, she's like religious, sweet, 18, like really, really young. Mal O'Brien's age too, so she was actually going to be the biggest threat to Mal O'Brien before Mal O'Brien was kind of the front runner. But then she had a back injury, came out for a year, and this is her comeback season. So it's really, really fucking cool to see her win her semifinal in her comeback season after probably what was very mentally and physically demanding is getting over that back injury. So it's cool to see that. And then Danielle Brandon is in second there, and I have mixed feelings on her. She's like she's CrossFit's badass, you know?
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, I think every major sport kind of has their it's like the Dennis Rodman of basketball, right? Like he was kind of like NBA's badass. Similar with Danielle Brandon, although you can't get away with doing cocaine and CrossFit very much, but but like, so one year she was out because her training partners tested positive for the Rona.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say for performance enhancing drugs.
And so they weren't allowed to compete, even though they were coming in highly ranked, like top 10 rankings, both of them. Neither of those ones could compete. And then she had to compete, and this is in 2021, kind of in isolation. So it'd be like, here's all these people racing, and then 3-lane gap, and then here's her by herself. Like it was very like weird kind of vibes, and almost felt like overkill because it wasn't really probably doing anything, you know?
Yeah.
So it felt like more of a show than anything. And by the end of it, she ends up kind of almost crushing the entire event. Like she didn't win. Obviously, it was the big show, the games, you know?
Yeah.
And so like she kind of got coined as she like gave the double flip off at one point. And that was like her new thing, was like that salty, like against the grain kind of athlete.
Who is this person? And that's Danielle Brandon?
Danielle Brandon, yeah. I'm gonna look her up. So that's pretty cool to see that both of those come out of the brute camp.
So pretty sure I got the right person.
Probably.
And it's probably so on brand. But let me see if I can I'm actually gonna go back over here. Share. This is her photo.
No, it's not.
It is. Yeah. North America East, 7th, 23rd women, worldwide rank. Like it's her. Isn't that funny?
That is hilarious. Who is that?
I have no idea. Pedro?
That's really funny.
There's really no way to know. Yeah, well, look at that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty funny, and speaks to her. Yeah, on brand, right?
On
Sense of
brand.
humor, all that
Yeah.
stuff. She's pretty cool to hear talk every once in a while. It's like I don't know if she'll ever win. I'm worried that she has potentially some points where she's maybe too laid back, and I think to be the absolute best, there's going to be a little bit of sacrifice that. But I love it. I think she brings good energy to the sport overall.
Dang, and how old is she? Did she say? Does it say on her?
Not super old.
No. I was just gonna say one thing I noticed when I was on here. 2014, 1100 was her placement, and then
That's
short years
still
later,
really good for like
114.
your first,
Right?
your first season. But I mean, that's what you're seeing, right? Is these people with a huge training background from whatever sport they played, typically.
Damn, that's nuts, man. 16th. It's like, look at that trajectory, dude. That's unreal.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What did she get last year at the games? Does it say?
Worldwide 56th, I think. Is that what that is?
It's not the games. It's something else. She was top 10 last year.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't that far down.
Those must be open rankings or something.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right, that's at 7th.
Oh, that's 7th in quarterfinals.
Yeah.
But either way, she's phenomenal. And then 3rd place, the camp that comes out of is Hard Work Pays Off, which is Matt Fraser's camp. Pretty cool to see with Mal O'Brien dropping out to still see someone in the top 3 from his programming and stuff. I think is good because I truly believe that from like a generalized programming thing, I don't know if when you're talking about competitive CrossFit, I don't know if you could beat Matt Fraser's stuff. What's this?
Yeah, I'm yeah, well, I was trying to see if I could get them side by side, and I am not technically savvy. So she trains with the same coach. You said it was Matt Fraser.
Well, yeah, as Mal O'Brien does, who is the one who dropped out last minute.
Yeah, that's sad. Where do you think she'd be right now?
I think she would have won that semifinal, or at least stuck it. So? I think it would have made that top 3 a way different race.
Yeah,
for sure.
Here we go. I can bring this back up now. Stop messing around with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. I wish I were just more able to figure.
Anyway,
out how to
so Amanda Barnhart is a kind of like a classic name in the sport, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see how the Hard Work Pays Off crew kind of does it when we get to the game season. Emma Lawson is also very, very young. I think she's still in high school. So yeah,
and she got first in that workout.
Yeah, those next 2 people are like 20 years old, maybe. Like they're very young as well. Sydney Wells is the most epic story coming out of the East, I think.
What's up with her?
Okay, so you know who Brooke Wells is, right?
Yeah.
So that's her twin sister. Right? Brooke Wells is her twin sister. Did not qualify for the games.
Oh dang!
But Sydney did, and Sydney's never been to the games. This is her first games appearance. And look at her placings in those event by event. She has like, what is that, a 34th in there? 58th on the second event, like 58th.
0 reps on that one.
Yeah. So that's like bottom 3, right? Like the worst place you can get is 60, and assuming that's if nobody pulled out before that happened. So she basically takes a dead last, but still made the games.
What was, and I'm going to be so surprised with you right now if you can tell me what it was, but what did she get 0 reps on that workout number 2?
So there was a complex. So workout number 2 is where you have to do 5 complexes on the rings. And the complex is 1 toe to ring, 1 muscle up, 1 dip. So you have to do all those 5 times. And
so she couldn't muscle up?
I think she might have been able to get the muscle up, but then couldn't do another dip on top of it.
Oh my God.
So then if you fail the dip, you have to do a muscle up just to get back up to try your dip.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
she's basically just above threshold. Now they're wearing I think a 14-pound or 10-pound ruck as well. So
jeez.
they have that weight and it's on the back, so it awkwardly displaces for rings.
Hold on,
So
you are being tested right now. What was the weight and your final answer on the ruck? Don't look.
I'm guessing 10.
Nice job. All right. Jeez.
Boom.
Look at
Anyway,
that.
because that weight's in the back on a movement where we usually are seeing people kip,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like weighs them improperly. So you almost have to kip less, which means you have to muscle more.
More muscle or strict.
Yeah. And so that one I think really sent her back. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
to see her still make it was phenomenal. She also did there was an 800-meter test, and that's what she ran in college.
Is that
And
the one she got first on?
Yeah. So she got first there, and
I
not
got
by
5.
like a small margin, like by 10 seconds.
8 snatches, 800-meter assault air runner. Oh, so it was just on like that stationary running machine?
Yeah. And that's another thing. That's my biggest knock on this event is that event 4 and 5, where it's like event 4 is run 800 meters and then the remainder of time you do a 1 rep max snatch, and then you rest 2 minutes, and then you go 8
Do it
snatches,
backwards.
800 meters 4 time. And it's not that I don't think those are great tests. It's that when you only have 7 tests and 2 of them are going to fall, um, the margins of error are so small,
Mm-hmm.
and you're putting them on a machine where they can't really tell if they need to pick it up or slow down based off of their other competitors. Like that's a huge drawback. So you might just accidentally, oh shoot, my kilometers per hour went down like half a kilometer per hour, and that changes your spot or your placing by like 10 people,
Yeah.
because
And
seconds make a difference on that. And it's like you could otherwise make that up if you see where everybody's at and can adjust pace based off of that.
like, is there any knock about it like being so like the exact same workout? I think it seems lazy.
Well, no, I like that because it flips it a little bit. I think the snatches are
Yeah.
silly. It should have been, if they just threw in, call it 12 snatches at that weight,
Uh-huh.
we would have seen a little bit more ability to separate yourself from the rest and
Okay.
really test that. But I think the 8 with this skill level, like it's just so nothing to them that
Yeah.
only the bottom 10 people were struggling with that weight.
Yeah. And that was at
Everyone else
125
was just,
pounds.
yeah, everyone else just touch and go, and then got on the assault runner at the same time for the most part.
That does make sense.
So I think that was sucked. And then as far as the other one where it's like a 1 rep max snatch, I do think that that's a great test. But then again, both of these were worth 100 points. And if you have a small error, your placing difference is up to 10 people.
Just like seconds.
Yeah. And so it feels like you could have a day to day, a fluctuation in placing from up to 30 placings, I think. Like say today you took 40th on that event. Well, you could do it again tomorrow and get 10th. Right? I
Just
think day
depending
to
on how
day
people are doing.
that changes. That, and because you don't know, you can't see everybody. So a lot of the nuances that exist on going into a machine instead of like going into a place where you can see where they're at,
Yeah.
it just changes everything from the
Yeah, you're
psychology
right.
of
Because
it.
if you're on a track, yeah, you can see somebody, right? And you're like,
You
I
start
gotta
trying to
catch
close your
them.
distance, you could
Yeah.
pace it differently. Like, yeah, it would be very different. So yeah, I think
That makes a lot of sense.
it's one of my least favorite events because I think it doesn't correlate super well. But anyway, we'll move on. Let's go to the guys really quick.
Yeah, sounds good. On the East still?
Yeah. All right, so here, Jeffrey Adler, I think he wasn't my pick to win this. I think in my head, I picked Roman Krinikov to win it, but Jeffrey Adler was my second place for sure. He's been super consistent, top 5 athlete for a few years now. And he doesn't get as much love for it as he should. But
was Roman the guy that did one of the open workouts just against somebody? It was like
this year, yeah.
Yeah, it was like toes to bar and something else. I
don't remember who he went against, but yeah, he definitely did one.
Nice.
He took second at the games last year.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He's a machine beast. There was a workout that he did. It was like, I think it was an EMOM, and it was like minute 1, assault bike 30 calories. Minute 2, ski erg 25 calories. Minute 3, it was like another machine 20 calories, something like that. And like you do it for like X amount of time, and he just stayed on his pace the whole time. It's like 30 calories in a fucking minute is like.
I was just gonna say we just did that today, and I was at hold on. So it was 2 minutes, right? So I had 20 calories in a minute, I think is what I was at.
And he's holding while tired, just regular, like I mean, he's a machine master. Like when you look at him compared, this particular field actually has some good machine people, but he is top-notch machines. Jason Hopper is close to that too. But it was crazy to me that he placed 4th, and I'm hoping. So here's my opinion on what's going on there. So he became a big favorite to potentially win the games this year.
Talking about Jason Hopper?
No, Roman Krenikov.
Oh, okay.
And now we see him take 4th in a smaller field of men. Not at the games yet. I think what may have happened is he had a very, 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 very good coach. And then he left because he wanted to pursue this more emotional situation, which is train with Rich Froning at Rich Froning's gym. Because that's who he learned about CrossFit from on YouTube and stuff like that. So it was like a personal, like emotional thing for him to go and do that. But then he left his coach in that process. And I don't believe that the Mayhem camp is set up super well for great coaching for individuals at that level.
Man, doing himself a disservice.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering if that's really what happened. And now he's just not hitting what he needs to be hitting. And not being pushed the way he needs to be pushed. Like he's racing training partners instead of figuring out exactly what paces he needs to hold to be competitive and things like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so then I think that maybe we don't see him win the games this year. That's kind of like my evaluation of it.
All because of coaching.
I think coaching is so important for these top guys because the coach's job is to break down all the data and then be like, this is what you have to do in order to win.
Yeah. And there is a mathematical way for you to get there and win.
Yeah, basically. Now we never know the tests that are coming, so we have like all these numbers that we just have to manage things. But anyway,
crazy.
Dolan Pepper is interesting. He's also out of that brute camp, same coach as those other 2 girls. Another podium spot.
There it is. Proof's in the pudding.
Jason Hopper, HWPO. Hard work pays off.
Oh, so, I was like, wait, that's not how you spell
it. That's pretty cool. Again, we're seeing those 2 camps. I don't think Jeffrey Adler's with either of them, though. I think he has his kind of like his own camp, if I'm not mistaken. But still pretty cool. Dolan Pepper's also really young, so I'm expecting him to start catching most of these top people. Luke Parker, he was on The Bachelorette.
No. I gotta look this guy up. I watched The Bachelorette.
He's with Mayhem, so him 4 and 5 all train together.
Luke, what was his name? Luke what?
Parker.
There, he's at Mayhem too.
Yeah. This is his first time making the games, though.
This cat looks like. Oh, and of course it's a far away photo. Whatever. I'll look at him later.
I'll look at him later.
Yeah, I'll send it to you in a DM. I'll be like, oh, this guy.
All right, let's hop over to the West. Yeah, we're short on time.
Sounds good. West. Do women first.
So anyway, I want to highlight that Hard Work Pays Off had 2 people in the top 3, male and female, and then Brute Strength had 3 people in the top 3. Something that's a pretty cool notice there.
Yeah.
Over here you have Alex Gazan, Katrin, and Ariel Lowen. As far as camps here, Katrin is with Hard Work Pays Off. And I think this is a huge comeback for her to make it. She didn't even make the games last year. For her to sit in second place, like she's probably the coolest story on the West side with the girls. There's another cool story there, but two of them really. But she's probably one of the coolest there because she just like goes from winning the games twice in a row to not even qualifying this last year to now maybe mounting a comeback now that she has kind of a new coach with Matt Fraser and like things are starting to line up for her a lot nicer. Bethany Shadburn is one of those girls that got COVID that year that couldn't participate, but she was like a front runner coming in. But then she had a back injury the next year. So this is the first time we've seen her kind of making a comeback. So it's good to see her performing really, really well. I think she has potential to be someone to watch if she could stay healthy. And then the last story here that I think is really, really fascinating is Bailey Rail was sitting like 4 or 5 spots out of a qualifying spot. And in the last event, she seals the deal and punches her ticket.
And were you just on the edge of your seat?
Dude, it was, I mean, I couldn't believe it, especially because I didn't think it was a great event for her because it was about, to me, that last event for most people was about how hard can you push the bike without taking away from the rest of your workout, basically. While still maintaining unbroken toes to bar. Now, unbroken toes, she's a very lighter girl, like a thinner one. So for holding toes to bar, that's her jam. But like sending it on the bike is not. So I was very impressed with that. I thought that performance was incredible. And then there's like, I'd say the only other cool story there might be Olivia Kerstetter because she's like 16 years old.
Dude, the future is bright. CrossFit,
so crazy.
As long as these kids don't get burnt out.
Yeah. You gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, stay healthy.
A lot of people are talking about the Danny Spiegel thing, but I honestly, I could care less.
Oh, what's that thing?
She didn't make it.
Oh.
But I didn't, whatever.
Don't really care. Try harder.
Yeah, not really. Let's go to the guys.
All right.
I think there's some interesting stuff there.
It's on. Here we
Okay.
are. Pat Milner.
So it was fascinating watching East and then watching West to me because when you watched the East, it was very impressive, crazy cool, different kind of race. But then if you start putting in numerically like performances that people are doing, like it's a totally different ball game. Like Jeffrey Adler took like what 4th in the snatch in the East, and then at the same weight, you are double digits placing in that event.
Just depending on where you're at.
Yeah, it's the same weight, so you can't say, well, it was because they did it there and everybody knew what was coming. It's not because of that at all. No. It's just that's how different these fields are when you're looking at like potentials. So on the snatch in particular, there's a lot of people who could hit over a 300-pound snatch in this region, whereas there's only like 1 or 2 over there.
Yeah. What's up with that?
It's just nuts to me. Standout things here when we're looking at this is I think Patrick Vellner won in dominating fashion. Look at his score compared to second place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's quite a gap.
It's not like the women in the East where there was like 6-point separation. This is crazy. That's almost a whole event right there. Like he won.
That's crazy.
And like it was impressive to see him hit every event almost perfectly. He even made mistakes and still was able to do really, really well. Like he made a mistake on the first workout, came out too hot, still placed okay. On the final workout, the 6th workout, he tried to hold his pace with Justin Medeiros, and Justin fucking smoked that workout. I mean, like wasn't even close. Like look at the 6th workout where he takes first.
Yeah, and
look at second place. Go look.
Yeah, 9:57 is a minute ahead.
That's
crazy.
Blows that fucking out of the water. Just incredible event for him.
Damn.
Which he kind of needed because he was in like 7th place. It was that was the rope climb one.
Oh, that was the one that I watched.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I think Brent Fikowski, this is a huge performance for him too. He's been, in my opinion, he started off really good with CrossFit and then kind of hit this weird slump where it looked like he just didn't understand. Like he was almost too paced in workouts. Like he needed to know how to push himself and he couldn't.
Kick it into gear.
Yeah. Samuel Quant is with hard work pays off.
Jeez.
So yeah, another one out of that camp, so to speak. I think Cole Greasehaber is as well, with hard work pays off.
That's cool.
So seeing those HWPO guys, like they're doing really, really well over there. Interesting that Justin's in 5th and he's supposed to be the champ. I think there's a couple schools there. I watched a couple of those events and I was like kind of salty about the no reps that Justin was getting because it felt like they were good reps. Yeah, he got no reps on workouts where it's a huge separating factor. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's keeping up on Linda and then all of a sudden he gets no repped on the bench and he's not understanding why he's getting no repped because he's hitting a good lockout. He's touching his chest at the bottom. So it was like,
what was the deal?
I thought, and so he had to have that separate conversation, which takes 20 seconds off of your time because maybe even more, because now you have to get those dumbbells back up to your chest. Like that to me was, I felt like they no repped Justin way more than they needed to. And I think it was just to make a point on like, you're going to no rep the fittest kind of thing. He also got no reps on the muscle up complex, which is super costly because then he has to do a whole nother ring muscle up to hit that last dip. Like so silly. I don't know. To me, that was, and again, it was like, he looked better than a lot of guys. So those were really costly no reps where he could have placed significantly higher in both of those events, I think. But yeah, nonetheless, it is a different, when you have 7 events versus 15, different landscape, right? Like Justin will be able to hold it together longer in the games. So I wouldn't quite say that this is indicative of where he'll place when you start pushing him against the world and all that. But I like that Samuel Quant got up there. Trying to think of Colton Mertens is always interesting to talk about because he's like 5'6" or something, just shorter. Shortest athlete to make it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he a gymnast?
No. He's a pig farmer. Like, dude works like a full-time job and trains. Like, he's like good old American boy. Like, it's kind of cool to see him.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Get in there. But anyway, I think there's a lot. You could break this down and talk about it a bunch more. But what I'm really excited for is Europe next. I won't be watching them live because I'm not going to wake up at 2 a.m. and start watching events.
And that's commitment.
Yeah. But what I like about that is I can just skip to the heats I want to see.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see how Sarah Sigmundsdottir does. I've always been a fan of her. So I'm very excited to see how she does, how she performs, see if she keeps it up.
That this weekend?
Yeah. It'll start tomorrow. I think it happens tonight. So like tomorrow morning will already be event 1 in. I could be wrong on that. I just know that they're in a different time zone. So it's confusing.
I'll have to record it.
It's all on YouTube, so it's easy to
jump back
click
into
through.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Let's see. Who else is in Europe? Laura Horvath is kind of the big favorite in Europe as far as who's going to win it and win the entire CrossFit Games. So seeing how she performs specifically on test 6 or workout 6 with the rope climbs and the handstand push-ups, that her performance there will, I think, be what tells us if she's going to beat someone like Emma Carey at the CrossFit Games.
Oh, here we go. I can help you out if you can't remember.
Does it show them there?
Yeah, it doesn't have any rankings, obviously, but like, and they might be so completely out of whack.
Yeah, they probably are.
Yeah, not even close, probably.
There are a bunch of names you just can't figure out how to say too,
Yeah.
Oh, and then I'm also, I gotta root for Amy Kringle just because so my wife's family is all from the Isle of Man and she's from the Isle of Man.
Oh, yeah. That's where you took your trip to, right?
Yep. yeah, so I gotta root for her. I got a hat from her box and stuff, and was training there when I was there. It was kind of fun.
No,
So
really?
yeah.
Did you see her?
No, I
Oh.
I trained in. They have like 3 locations on the island. I trained at this little
Uh-huh.
tiny one. They have a teenage girl that I think almost qualified though too. I did
Wow.
meet her, and then another one out of that region, Annie Thor's daughter.
Oh yeah,
Everybody's gonna be
obviously.
watching her. If
Yeah.
she can win this region, I will definitely have her ping for like a podium spot.
Yeah, like a dark horse.
I don't know. It won't be so dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
She's got
everybody
it.
else will probably be thinking that too.
Yeah.
And there's some people who have her picked to win too, but I'm just anxious to see how it goes. I'm excited.
Nice.
On the guys' side, it's boring.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Well, I think you look at the top 10, there's maybe like 2 guys on the competing in this region on the guys' side that'll be top 10 at the games. But I think you go over to North America, East and West, and you have the rest of the top 10 between those 2.
Everything else.
Yeah.
Nice. When do the
Like
games
even
start?
Australia. Usually like August.
Oh, okay. Not too long.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun.
All right. Well, that's kind of my quick spiel on semifinals.
Breaking it down.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully someone finds that entertaining to talk about, but I love nerding out on this sport. So it's pretty fun
You
for me.
sounded very passionate about it. I learned something.
Pretty soon, this is not for the sport, let's say. We got that proven competition coming up.
Yep.
I want to take everybody who's participating in that and go through some test runs on some of the workouts and kind of really, really break that down for them and really so they understand pacing and how that workout should be done in order to shave off times and stuff like that.
Yeah, heck yeah. Looking forward to that. When do you want to do that?
Might even start this Sunday. I think Katie and I talked about this Sunday.
Oh, sweet. I'm down.
And then I got to talk to the teams. The thing is, I can't really have multiple people doing it at once because I have to watch one team or one person. I can't separate my attention.
Yeah.
Because I'll be writing down every single split time.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we saw that Leanne and is it Haley? Are they gonna?
I think Haley's her teammate. They didn't say it on that thing, but I talked to them.
Haley reposted it is the only reason why I figured it was her because she's like, "Here we go again." I'm like, "That's got to be you." Like,
yeah, she's got to be the partner.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Interesting to see how we develop and get better if we're working on these workouts because it's cool that they're all posted and we know what we got to work on.
Yeah, we've been kind of putting pieces of them together in the programming too. Like I know one thing that we're going to do in a couple weeks is like toes to bar and hang power cleans, but no bike, which is when the workout has bike, toe to bar, hang power clean. We're just going to do the toe to bar power clean and try to get a feel for that. And then we have, more chest to bar pull-ups coming, like just trying to get our touch up on some of those next level skills that people will be needing.
Yeah, sweet. Heck yeah, man. Well, I'll look forward to it.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe. That was a bug. I didn't fart, I swear.
Wafting it.
All right, guys. See you guys on the next one where we'll probably pick up again with our 10 components of fitness, a little bit more condensed.
Sounds good. See you, everyone.